Hello and thank you for tuning into News Today. Without delay, take a look at the headlines first. Stampede at religious event in Uttar Pradesh claims multiple lives. Indian Navy certified a new explosive named Sevex-2. Scientists discovered naturally existing DNA editing tool, bridge recombinase mechanism. RBI's draft Foreign Exchange Management Regulation 2024 released. Niti Aayog released Improving the Culture of Research and Development in State Universities and Institutes report. New World Soil Health Index announced by UNESCO at International Conference on Soils held in Morocco. In our very first news, in a tragic turn of events, a stampede at a religious gathering in Uttar Pradesh has resulted in multiple fatalities. The incident occurred during a large-scale religious event where thousands of devotees had gathered to participate in the festivities. Stampede can be described as disruption of orderly movement of crowds, leading to injuries and fatalities. Some examples of such disasters include Sabrimala Stampede 2011, Kalkaji Temple's platform collapse 2024, etc. Experts point out that crowd disasters can be triggered by various factors. These include structural issues like the collapse of barricades or difficult terrain, for example, when the 5 bridges collapsed in 9 days in Bihar in 2024. Another cause can be the fire code violations or non-availability of fire extinguisher, etc. For example, the Upahar cinema fire in 1997. Additionally, under-deployment of security personnel to regulate crowd and absence of CCTV also poses risk. Lastly, coordination gap between agencies like the district magistrate, fire service, etc. can also lead to crowd disasters. To avoid such disasters, crowd management is important. It means a public security practice in which crowds are managed to prevent the outbreak of crowd disasters, affrays, fights or riots, etc. Furthermore, in response to this tragedy, the National Disaster Management Authority or NDMA has stressed the importance of following established guidelines for crowd management. These guidelines emphasize the need for a thorough capacity building, taking into account factors such as events' popularity, periodicity, weather conditions, and local terrain. Local government should establish safety codes by determining existing capacity and other essential attributes. Also, event organizers, planners should conduct failure mode and effect analysis, which involves rating every possible hazard. Lastly, communicating with visitors and providing them with correct information can also help. In conclusion, as investigations into this tragic incident continue, authorities are focusing on improving communication strategies to ensure that visitors receive accurate and timely information during such events.
Ahead in the news, the Indian Navy has certified a new explosive named Sevex-2. This cutting-edge explosive formulation was developed by Economic Explosive Limited, a subsidiary of Solar Industries, under the Make in India initiative. Sevex-2 is among the most potent non-nuclear explosive globally. Moving on to the testing phase, the new formulation of Sevex-2 was tested under the Defense Export Promotion Scheme of the Navy. In addition to Sevex-2, the Indian Navy has also certified Sidbex-1, a thermobaric explosive, and Simex-4. Now let's delve deeper into what these explosives entail. Sevex-2 is based on high melting explosive and offers approximately 2.01 times the lethality of standard trinitrotoluene. For context, trinitrotoluene, commonly known as TNT, is an explosive used in military shells, bombs, grenades, and industrial applications and underwater blasting. Conventional explosives like Dentex and Torpex, which are generally used in conventional warheads, aerial bombs, and various types of ammunition, have a TNT equivalence of 1.25 to 1.30. Talking about Sidbex-1, this thermobaric explosive generates an extended blast duration with intense heat, making it particularly effective against enemy bunkers, tunnels, and other fortified positions. Thermobaric explosive compositions are fuel-rich formulations capable of creating sustained high temperatures and longer duration over pressure compared to conventional high explosives. Lastly, Simex-4 is noteworthy for its safety in storage, transportation, and handling, and is more likely to accidentally go off. In conclusion, these advancements highlight the Indian Navy's commitment to enhancing its capabilities with state-of-the-art technology and maintaining safety standards.
In our next news, In a groundbreaking discovery, scientists have uncovered a naturally existing DNA editing tool called the bridge recombinase mechanism, or BRM. This mechanism utilizes jumping genes, which are mobile genetic elements capable of cutting and pasting themselves into genomes, effectively performing on-the-go DNA manipulation. These jumping genes are present in all forms of life and consist of small DNA segments containing a recombinase enzyme. They also have extra DNA segments at their ends that bind to and manipulate DNA. This natural gene editing process allows for the alteration of genetic material in living organisms by inserting, replacing, or deleting DNA sequences with the aim of improving some characteristic of a plant or animal or correcting a genetic disorder. The BRM works in a fascinating way. The extra DNA at the ends of jumping genes joins together, converting the DNA double helix structure into a single-stranded RNA molecule. This bridge RNA can then bind to two DNA segments, a donor and a target, allowing for flexible DNA modifications. Importantly, the donor and target loops can be programmed independently, offering greater versatility in inserting or recombining DNA sequences. The significance of this discovery cannot be overstated. BRM will allow researchers to perform a wide range of editing operations on very long DNA sequences, including rearranging, recombining, inverting, duplicating, moving, and performing other editing operations on very long DNA sequences. This breakthrough could lead to the development of more advanced gene editing therapeutics and treatments for various diseases. It's worth noting that BRM joins a growing arsenal of gene editing technologies. These include well-known CRISPR-Cas9, which allows scientists to cut and insert small pieces of DNA at precise areas along a DNA strand. Another is the tail nucleases. Nucleases that cleave unique genomic sequences in living cells can be used for targeted gene editing. Additionally, there is zinc finger nucleases, targeted to cleave a chosen genomic sequence and provokes cellular repair processes that in turn mediate efficient modification of the targeted location. And lastly, RNA interference that targets RNA molecules to block or activate gene expression. In conclusion, as we continue to unravel the complexities of our genetic code, discoveries like BRM remind us of the incredible potential hidden within nature itself.
Moving ahead, in recent developments, the Reserve Bank of India has released the Draft Foreign Exchange Management, Export and Import of Goods and Services Regulations 2024, inviting public responses under Section 47 of the Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. Key highlights of the draft regulations include the requirement for every exporter to furnish a declaration specifying the amount representing the full export value of the goods or services to a specified authority. The full export value must be realized and repatriated to India within 9 months from the date of shipment for goods and from the date of invoice for services. However, the authorized dealer may extend the specified period for reasonable and sufficient cause. Additionally, no advance remittance for the import of gold and silver will be permitted unless specifically approved by the RBI. The significance of this draft regulation lies in its potential to promote ease of doing business, particularly for small exporters and importers. By empowering authorized dealer banks, the regulation aims to provide quicker and more efficient services to foreign exchange customers. This aligns with the broader objective of facilitating external trade and payments while promoting the orderly development and maintenance of the foreign exchange market in India. Moving on, let us also get to know about what is the Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. It was established to consolidate and amend the law relating to foreign exchange. It facilitates external trade and payments, promoting the orderly development and maintenance of the foreign exchange market in India. Additionally, FEMA established the Directorate of Enforcement or ED to investigate cases under the Act. In conclusion, the RBI's Draft Foreign Exchange Management, Export and Import of Goods and Services Regulations 2024 represents a significant move towards modernizing and liberalizing India's foreign exchange management.
Ahead in the news, Niti Aayog, India's premier policy think tank, has released a groundbreaking report titled Improving the Culture of Research and Development in State Universities and Institutes. This report sheds light on the current state of R&D in India and offers recommendations to boost the research ecosystem. The report highlights that India's gross expenditure on R&D or GERD has more than doubled in the past decade, reaching rupees 1,27,381 crore in 2020-21 from rupees 60,197 crore in 2010 and 11. Interestingly, the government sector, including central government that is 43.7%, state governments 6.7% and higher education institutions 8.8% are the primary driver of this expenditure during 2020 and 21. The report emphasizes the crucial role of R&D in educational institutions, noting that it fosters creativity, innovation, and curriculum development aligned with industry needs. Moreover, it catalyzes solutions to pressing societal challenges in areas like healthcare and environmental sustainability. However, the R&D landscape in Indian educational institutes faces several hurdles. While the growth is encouraging, India still lags behind major world economies in R&D spending. The country allocates just 0.64% of its GDP to R&D, significantly lower than South Korea at 4.8% and the US at 3.5%. Other issues include a greater emphasis on teaching over research and low student enrollment in advanced programs. In 2021-22, total PhD enrollment stood at a modest 2.12 lakh students as per All India Survey on Higher Education. To address these challenges, Niti Aayog has proposed a multi-level approach. At the university level, it recommends establishing dedicated R&D committees and improving infrastructure through public-private partnerships. State-level suggestions include granting financial and decision-making autonomy to universities and aligning research focus with global and regional challenges. The report also calls for central government action, urging alignment of R&D initiatives with the National Education Policy 2020 and granting special status to universities in distinctive geographical regions. It's worth noting that the government has already taken steps to promote research through initiatives like the National Education Policy 2020 that promotes quality and quantity of research in India. Another is the Anusandhan National Research Foundation Act 2023 and programs such as Innovation in Science Pursuit for Inspired Research or INSPIRE and Women in Science and Engineering Knowledge Involvement in Research Advancement through Nurturing. In conclusion, the Niti Aayog report underscores the critical need to bolster R&D in India's educational institutions.
Ahead in the news, the new World Soil Health Index has been announced by UNESCO at an international conference on soils held in Morocco. This index aims to standardize the measurement of soil quality across different regions and ecosystems, facilitating the identification of trends in soil degradation or improvement. Alongside this initiative, UNESCO will also launch a pilot program for the sustainable management of soils and landscapes in 10 natural sites under its Biosphere Reserves program. This pilot aims to assess the effectiveness of current management methods and ensure that best practices are developed and implemented worldwide. Soil degradation, a major global concern, is defined as a change in soil health that diminishes the ecosystem's capacity to provide goods and services. Currently, 75% of the world's land is degraded, affecting 3.2 billion people directly, a figure that is expected to rise to 90% by 2050, according to the World Atlas of Desertification. In India, around 32% of land is under degradation, with 25% undergoing desertification. Major causes of soil degradation include deforestation, unsustainable agricultural practices, industrial pollution, and natural erosion by wind and water. The impact of soil degradation is profound. It reduces soil fertility, leading to decreased plant growth and agricultural output. It also releases stored carbon, contributing to greenhouse gas emissions and climate change. Moreover, it decreases the population of soil organisms that are crucial for nutrient cycling, pest control, and overall plant health. Several initiatives have been undertaken globally and in India to prevent soil degradation. At the global level, the Land Degradation Neutrality Initiative under the UN Convention to Combat Desertification and the Bond Challenge, which aims to restore 350 million hectares of degraded and deforested landscapes by 2030, are key efforts. The FAO's Global Soil Partnership Action Plan 2022-2030 is another significant step. In India, the Soil Health Card Scheme and the National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture have been recommended. Additionally, organic farming initiatives like the Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana encourage traditional farming practices that maintain soil fertility and health. In conclusion, the New World Soil Health Index by UNESCO, along with various global and national initiatives, represents a significant step forward in addressing the pressing issue of soil degradation.
As we conclude today's main news, let's take a look at some quick updates. Certain portions of speech from opposition leaders were expunged from the record of Parliament. Expunction means deletion of words, phrases, or expressions from the proceedings or records for being defamatory or indecent. Presiding officer of the House has the authority to decide which portion will be expunged. Minister of Mines inaugurated the District Mineral Foundation Gallery at Shastri Bhavan in New Delhi. Ministry of Mines, through amendment in Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act in 2015, has made a provision for establishment of DMF in all districts affected by mining. 17th session of the Conference of State Parties to UN-CRPD took place in New York with the theme Rethinking Disability Inclusion in the Current International Juncture and Ahead of the Summit of the Future. The UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities was adopted in New York in 2006 and entered into force in 2008. Nomadic Elephant, the joint military exercise between armies of India and Mongolia, will be conducted in Meghalaya. And Exercise Maitri, that is a joint military exercise between India and Thailand, was conducted in Thailand. Scientists have found a desert moss which is able to withstand Mars-like environment conditions. It is widespread in some of the Earth's harshest locations, including Antarctica and Mojave Desert. Odisha will plant palm tree to combat lightning deaths. Palm tree belongs to tropical forest ecosystem. It acts as natural conductors during lightning strikes and prevent loss of lives. India successfully test fires first indigenous anti-radiation missile Rudram-1. It is an air-to-surface missile developed by DRDO for Indian Air Force. It will allow IAF to conduct suppression of enemy air defense operations deep within enemy territory, neutralizing critical air defense installations. IEEE 2061-2024 Wireless Network Standard for Affordable Broadband Access in Rural Areas has been approved by Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers last month. It is based on solutions developed by a research group at IIT Bombay. Physicists have reported the most precise estimate yet of the top quark's mass. It is one of the two basic types of fundamental particles described under Standard Model of Physics. It is the most massive elementary particle that exists. Recently, NASA's Mars Odyssey orbiter captured the view of largest volcano in our solar system, Olympus Mons, located on Mars. Launched in 2001, it is the longest continually active orbital mission. It was the first spacecraft to make a global map of chemical elements and minerals that make up Martian surface. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Knowledge. We appreciate your company. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and for the PDF version, visit the links in the description below.